Hello humans, I'm Yoshiller, and I've been creating and editing gaming-related videos for more than half my life. I've gone through a fair share of phases, and my interests have gradually shifted, but I'm still me, Yoshiller. I've been in the content creation space since I was still in my school years, and across all these years, the only difference between me then and me now is that I'm wearing a different shirt today. Though, I will admit, I do sometimes get a little bummed out when I realize that people don't really know me anymore. Or rather, they only associate me with something that I did over a decade ago, and not from my numerous and more recent outings. To this day, people still only know me as a guy that created videos for the 2009 Wii title, New Super Mario Bros. Wii. That was a long time ago. Yet, I still receive comments that say, "Whoa, Yoshiller, I remember you from your New Super Mario Bros. Wii videos." Oh, yeah? Those old videos, huh? I recorded that series back with my high school friends Andrew, Ian, and Pelt, and those videos went on to receive tens of millions of views. And sure, I'd done a handful of videos prior to covering this co-op Wii game, a handful of which were a bit popular due to the early development of the gaming side of YouTube at the time. Nevertheless, it was certainly this New Super Mario Bros. Wii co-op walkthrough series that put me on the map. This series even caused me to become more comfortable with creating commentated gaming videos, which is the main type of content that I produce on my main channel to this very day. Prior to recording this game with my friends, I experimented presenting gameplay in a variety of different styles, and my commentated ones were horrible.
Hello everyone, welcome to the second part of my Kirby 64 walkthrough for GameAnyone.com.
Just horrible. And I later followed up this popular 4-player co-op gameplay series with another series in New Super Mario Bros. U, which also featured a fair number of uploads with high view counts and a fifth friend, Rosic, participating as the platform creator.
I said fish tanks, not prostate.
Well, next time make your pronunciation more clear.
Both of these series still have regular, fresh, and returning viewers even today. Look, I'm glad that so many people enjoyed these videos and that there are viewers that can go back and find comfort and joy in rewatching them. It's just that I, personally, am a bit disappointed that these two series are the main points of my content creation legacy. I've posted literally thousands of videos since then, yet I still witness comments pop up that say, "I didn't know you still made videos. Man, I haven't watched you since New Super Mario Bros. Wii." I know these comments have good intentions. And hey, I'm glad that a viewer has been able to come back and find me in my current day and age. So, is it rude or selfish to ask that I wish that most people knew me for more of my modern work instead? And it should also go without saying, though I'm about to say it anyway, that I don't expect everyone to know every single video that I've ever made or to watch every single video that I've ever uploaded. One, I don't need that big of die-hard fans, or want any stalkers. And two, I totally understand that my interests in the videos that I've created over the years will not align with someone else's interests and time. I do not expect anyone to watch all 100 plus of my Mario Kart videos, let alone for someone to have done that and then to go and watch all 100 plus of my competitive Pokémon battle videos, or then to watch all of my Animal Crossing videos. That'd be absurd. And if you have done that, then thank you, you're awesome. Nah, the issue here is that people don't even know that I've done those things. There are people that only think I've played New Super Mario Bros. Wii and then New Super Mario Bros. U, and then that's it. They may not even know that I wear a Yoshi hat. And I'm not talking about this blue one for this channel, I'm talking about my original green Yoshi hat. I was not wearing one at the time of my New Super Mario Bros. Wii and New Super Mario Bros. U videos. All of that branding wasn't there yet. I've grown so much since 2009, and these older videos are far from my best work, even for their time. Now, I should hope that my modern day videos are more presentable than my videos of the past, but even back then, I could have been doing much better. I was still understanding the world of capture cards and video editing programs. Knowledge on these subjects wasn't nearly as plentiful or resourceful as it is now. Tutorials on these types of subjects weren't really common back then either. I had to figure out a lot of things by myself. Perhaps that's the charm of these New Super Mario Bros. Wii videos, as they definitely feel like something a high school student and his friends probably would have whipped up in 2009.
Ready guys? We are Penguins in the Forest! Woo yeah! Yeah man! Penguins in the Forest!
Well, we're not really, we're just guys in penguin suits in the forest!
Woo!
But at the time, I was mostly clueless on anything regarding game capture quality and bit rates and export settings. You gotta remember that this was a time before live streaming was a normal hobby. People were still using video cameras pointed at their television screens to create gameplay content, so I was actually ahead of the curve for the most part. And yet, this is far from the peak of quality content from that day and age. Also, I recorded the commentary using an old video camera, since I didn't know how else to record all of our voices at the same time, and the gameplay quality was just recorded in whatever my capture card at that point would allow. Then there were other restrictions at the time. YouTube videos had to be under 11 minutes. I only had so much computer space to record and edit everything, so I prioritized recording and exporting into smaller, lower quality files. One of the parts is only 3 minutes long, and it doesn't even have commentary because the video camera that was recording our commentary had its battery die on us. But whatever, I uploaded it anyway. Oh, and then there's the fact that each of the videos has a watermark on them for a walkthrough website that is now defunct. This whole series is such a mess. It's unprofessional and low quality in several ways. Yet this series is how people found me and still know me. This is what people continuously want to come back and watch rather than any of my other projects. It boggles the mind. And the majority of the videos in the series don't even feature all 4 of us. Or 5 of us in New Super Mario Bros. U's case. And in the latter's case, 2 other players swapped in for a couple of parts of the walkthrough. We all had conflicting schedules, as, again, we were all still high school students. In fact, we were all enrolled in honors and AP classes, which means that our free time after school was typically non-existent. Recording video games and creating content was my extracurricular activity, not theirs. So it usually just wasn't possible for all of us to be present at once. I almost considered not doing a walkthrough for New Super Mario Bros. U, as even back then, I knew how busy we'd all be with school, and there were plenty of other games that I expressed interest in recording around that time anyway. Ultimately, my friends were the ones that encouraged me to record the game regardless of how our schedules would play out, and so I wound up getting the game. It was such a last-minute decision that I digitally downloaded it, making it my first digital game on my Wii U console. We recorded New Super Mario Bros. U to the best of our collective abilities, and in hindsight, I'm really glad that we did. They're fun videos, and we got to document some fun times together. It's like a time capsule in a way. Except, this is far from the only time that my high school friends and I played games with one another. These same players were in a multitude of my other gameplay recordings. Ian and Pelt later joined me for a co-op walkthrough of Kirby's Return to Dreamland, where Pelt himself brought quite the advanced setup for recording our commentary for the first few videos. And everybody regularly appeared in various other multiplayer-focused videos, including for games like Nintendo Land, Super Smash Bros., Mario Kart 8, a one-off Super Mario 3D World video that turned into a Wii Party U video, and we even played all sorts of other older games like Sonic Advance 2 together. Andrew and I even met up once to play the All-Star mode in Super Smash Bros. For Nintendo 3DS, co-op. Yeah, I'm willing to bet some of you didn't even know that that was a thing that you could do. I rotated out these friends for a variety of different videos in an effort to showcase numerous different games. A video game series that I'm especially attached to is Pokémon, and the Pokémon that I used throughout my 2010 walkthrough Pokémon White were nicknamed after these same people. Andrew was my Musharna, even though Andrew's a boy and the Musharna is female. Ian is Throw, Pelt is Haxorus, and Rossic is technically my Electros, though it was a Pokemon that was in rotation at the time, so during that walkthrough it was actually nicknamed after Rossic's online username. And then the other Pokemon I used in the walkthrough? Well, my starter Pokemon, Superior, is nicknamed Anthony, who is a friend that has been in several other videos of mine, including as one of the rotational players in a couple of New Super Mario Bros. U videos. Logan is Simipour, and he's been in a few different videos that I created over the years featuring multiplayer Nintendo DS games. And Michael is Darmanitan, although it's spelled wrong due to the character limitations at the time, but he's been in dozens of my videos from then to now. To this very day, I still use these exact same Pokemon with the exact same nicknames, whether I'm competing in an official tournament or just recording a playthrough for my own leisure. I honor the fact that many of these videos may not have existed without my high school friends and their contributions and friendship, and it's been this way for over 16 years now. Yet, people won't notice. To most viewers, I'm still just the new Super Mario Bros. Wii guy. That's my legacy. Do you see why this would be somewhat frustrating? Now, this may be in part due to how YouTube search functions and algorithms work and how they've changed over time as well, but it's not as if I haven't tried to stand out in other ways. I've made numerous efforts to become a known name in tons of other games and projects. Why, shortly after my New Super Mario Bros. Wii co-op walkthrough, I was a semi-popular player in Mario Kart Wii thanks to my high school friend Anthony introducing me to another popular player by the name of Jughead870, who raced under the tag of Rich Petty. I already have a whole video about this exact subject, but in short, this all led to me creating a series called Rich Petty Races, which was otherwise a simple video series showcasing myself racing online in Mario Kart Wii, sometimes with themes, but it was mainly just my perspective as I raced against Rich Petty, another popular Mario Kart Wii player at the time. But when people think back to Mario Kart Wii, do they think of my Rich Petty Races series, or even me? Probably not, right? Conversely, when people think of me, do they think of Mario Kart Wii? Probably not. Okay, well, around that same time, there was a channel on the rise called Ninbuzz, and it recruited a fair share of other creators in an effort to create a smorgasbord of Nintendo-centric uploads for a big channel. I was invited to join, and that was super validating, and so I opted to record a co-op walkthrough with my friend Ian for the then new game Kirby's Epic Yarn on the Wii. We wound up not finishing the series, and the channel itself later shifted focus, but it was still on a major channel. Yet, I can almost guarantee that very few people know that this series exists, very few people will associate Kirby's Epic Yarn with me, and very few people will associate me with Kirby's Epic Yarn. Hey, I know I certainly don't. It should have all been something more major and pivotal, but looking back, it's just barely a blip in my content creation timeline. So in 2013, I began wearing a Yoshi hat in an effort to stand out whenever I'd attend events, which is something that I did more frequently starting in 2014 thanks mainly to Super Smash Bros. Having playable demos at E3, Comic-Con, and PAX Prime, which is nowadays called PAX West. This Yoshi hat idea wound up being one of the best decisions I'd ever made, and many people do know me for that, as it's become my branding, alongside me using Bayleaf, my favorite Pokemon, which will soon be used alongside a Meganium. In 2014, I revamped my channel to better embrace the Yoshi hat aesthetic, and I started to use custom thumbnails much more frequently. I actually still use similar thumbnail layouts on my modern videos as I did back then. And I had originally considered adding custom thumbnails to my older videos, even the new Super Mario Bros. Wii ones, but I opted against it. I decided, for discoverability's sake, and to a lesser extent preservation's sake, that I should just leave my older videos alone. And maybe someone could stumble across those videos again and see what my channel has become. And I guess that's sorta true now, hence the sort of venting that I've been doing for the past couple of minutes. But still, for the most part, a lot of that older viewership never really transferred over. Then there's Splatoon. I had the luxury of playing the original Splatoon game a year prior to its release on the Wii U thanks to its playable demo at E3 2014, and I even appeared in an advertisement for the game back in mid-2015, so I figured I'd try to make a name for myself here too. This was a strange time because the game was so bare bones at launch that my friends and I often had to create our own fun. We came up with our own rules, themes, and playstyles, but outside of the time where I painted the entirety of the tutorial map when their initial online demo for the game wouldn't load properly, I never really became a known name in the Splatoon community. And all those custom rules and playstyles that my friends and I had, other people did something similar. I had a Super Mario Maker level based on Little Mac that had gone viral, and I wanted to create other theme levels to follow suit, but alas, I missed the boat on that one. In another timeline, it could have potentially worked out for me to have become a known name in Super Mario Maker, as that game already contains elements from New Super Mario Bros. U anyway, so you'd think that there'd be some synergy and that it'd be natural for someone to see one of my levels and go, Yoshiller? Hey, that's the guy that made that old 4-player co-op walkthrough series! Or vice versa, YouTube may have recommended my content to more people because of the similarity between the games. But outside of that one Little Mac level, I just didn't follow up on it. This one's on me, I guess. Speaking of Super Mario Maker, at E3 2015, where the game was primarily showcased, I had actually received an exclusive gold Mario pin during the event. Only a couple hundred people ever actually obtained one of these, as it was exclusive to E3, and as I understand it, one of the original designers of the pin, Mr. Chocon, never had one for himself. Well, I've had a few opportunities to visit Mr. Chocon's exclusive game industry-only cafe in Japan over the years, and during one of my visits, I gave my pin to him alongside a small figure of Seattle's Space Needle. So if you ever have the chance to go there, you can actually see both of these gifts on display for yourself. I'm sure Mr. Chocon was very happy to receive these gifts, and I was happy to give them to him, and I don't want to have to say but nobody is going to look at these gifts and know that they were from the same guy that made that new Super Mario Bros. Wii co-op walkthrough all those years ago. I'm not going to become the guy that gave Mr. Chocon the gold Mario anniversary pin from E3. Although, now that I've written this out and voiced it for this video, maybe this is a bad example since I didn't give those gifts to make a name for myself, but rather to give the item to someone who deserved it and would appreciate it. I don't know. Point still stands, this isn't something that I'm going to be known for. Well, what about the fact that I created a 100% walkthrough for Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild? I started right at the game's launch, and it took 2 years, but I did everything. Huh? No one really cares? Or hey, there's that time the producers of Dragon Quest Builders 2 challenged me to build something specific. They invited me to play a special build of the game and recorded a custom video just for me, and then I ran out of time trying to build what they wanted me to build, and then years later, I finished the project on my own copy of the game. Look at that. See? I think I did a pretty good job. Isn't this cool? But no one's gonna know me as the guy that built a getaway retreat in Dragon Quest Builders 2 by request of the producers of the game. Okay, how about my competitive history in Pokemon? I already discussed earlier how my Pokemon from my Pokemon White walkthrough are named after my high school friends, but what a lot of people may not know is that I only use the same 60 or so Pokemon in any competition or game that I play. The leader of the bunch, the ace of the group, is my favorite Pokemon, Bayleaf. In Pokemon Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon, I even used a Bayleaf in official tournament settings, and while I never placed particularly high, let alone won any of the events, I fought against a fair share of notable opponents and held my ground. And because I used Bayleaf and showcased some results, my team had to be cataloged on certain database websites. But I guess nobody knows me for that, even though I've got Bayleaf branding all over my channels now. And I'm not trying to create a woe is me tone with this video. I'm not dissatisfied with the actual work and accomplishments I've done over the years, or at least not with the majority of them. I'm just trying to demonstrate the amount of work that I've done over these years that seems to often go unnoticed in favor of something that, honestly, I have a bit of dissatisfaction toward. I tried upping the quality and quantity of my videos, striving for daily uploads, and I used to get streaks of posting 60 or so videos in a row. Because I was determined on maintaining a streak, it became difficult to figure out which game to record next once I finished each one. So, in an effort to create videos consistently and quickly, I decided to play through each of the Pikmin games, which received a favorable amount of viewership. But people don't really associate me with Pikmin videos, do they? They associate me with New Super Mario Bros. Wii and New Super Mario Bros. U. But hey, speaking of daily videos, there's also the time I made over 400 videos for Animal Crossing New Horizons as I pursued a goal of playing the game for an hour each day across a year. And you know what? I did it! How many people can say that, huh? But I suppose the better question is, do people know that I did that? Do people care that I did that? Then, of course, there's Splatoon 2 and Splatoon 3, other games for which I have a large passion. I covered the former game pretty extensively, and I even reached the highest rank of X rank in the game's tower control mode. My name even showed up a few times in the scrolling news thingy during those limited time Splatfests. And for the latter game, I earned a gold tower control badge after winning 1,000 total tower control matches, and I played and won a couple of 100 times matches and Splatfests there too. But does anyone know me for those things? Does anyone care about those things? If they do, it doesn't seem like it. I tried to have a competitive run in Super Smash Bros. Ultimate, where I regularly attended weekly local events and tournaments in Southern California in an effort to become a high-ranking player. Though I managed to take a couple of games off of top players, held my ground against some of the world's best players, and even fared well in some online events, I never became one of Ultimate's all-time greats. I truly gave it an honest try, and I attended a large number of events. I traveled across the country to make a name for myself in Smash. This is all a topic that would need its own separate video for a greater discussion, but just know that I was fairly active in my efforts to become a high-ranking Smash player. You know that famous moment where a Smash player used Steve to construct a letter F before defeating his opponent in a tournament set? I was even in the front row for that one. I saw it happen on the spot, and yeah, it was even more hype in person. Otherwise, I don't think people know just how active I tried to be in this game. I competed every week, but it seems to be in vain because I never became a top player. No active fan of this game who thinks of popular players within it will think of me first. A few top players are familiar with me, and you know what, that's pretty cool, but otherwise, the skill gap between the top players and me is huge, and as a result, my Smash run came to an end without any major accomplishments. I also created 100% walkthroughs for Hyrule Warriors Age of Calamity and Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom. Again, each one took a while, the latter of which took 2 years again, just like with Breath of the Wild, but I did everything in all of those games! Oh, and I even did a 100% walkthrough for new Pokémon Snap, where I fulfilled the additional challenge of topping the game's leaderboards. I think that that's a neat accomplishment, but I can't imagine too many people know or even care about that. Then there are all the fun multiplayer videos that I've recorded over the years. I've made a plentiful amount of co-op walkthroughs since New Super Mario Bros. Wii. As previously stated, I recorded Kirby's Return to Dreamland and many co-op Nintendo Land videos with the same group of friends, but with other groups of friends, I've since recorded Super Mario 3D World, Sonic Superstars, Legend of Zelda 4 Sword Adventures, and Kirby and the Amazing Mirror. Okay, yeah, that last one was pretty well received, but do people know me as the Kirby and the Amazing Mirror guy? I don't think so. There were also all the one-off videos I made. I uploaded what are known as Whatever Wednesday videos, which are videos that can typically be watched in isolation without any prior context. And I originally made these videos so that my returning subscribers would have something to watch each week if they didn't have interest in my main daily uploads. Nowadays, Whatever Wednesday videos typically serve as an excuse for me to experiment with other video styles or to capture footage and share the fun with the world at the same time, which I guess also helps for discoverability purposes. Within this series, I've had many high-performing videos, sure, but how many people know of me as the Mario Tennis 64 guy, or the Mario and Sonic 2014 Sochi Olympic Games guy, or the Tetris 99 guy, or the Desert Bus guy?
I'm not out of gas. That's on E for enfueled with fuel.
Okay, and the
extra gas.
And the engine overheating?
That's not the engine overheating, that's just the inside temperature of the vehicle. It's on H for, that's cozy.
The point is, I've done so much stuff across my time as a content creator. And that's not even getting into things like how I was on the game show Wipeout, or how I'd attend specific Pokemon events with a sign strapped to me just so that I could give out Pokemon to fellow Pokemon players. It's all me. It's all the guy with the Yoshi hat. It's all the guy that uploaded 400 videos of Animal Crossing. It's all the guy that uses Bayleaf and soon Mega Meganium in competitive Pokemon matches. I'm the same guy who's done all these things after all these years. And how do people know me? From my new Super Mario Bros. Wii co-op walkthrough from back in 2009. I'm grateful for the success of that series, and I know many others would love to have videos like that on their channels. And I completely understand that it's my own actions that have caused me to remain unable to replicate the popularity of these videos and create an identity that's associated with a different game. I mentioned this earlier, but I'll say it again. I wouldn't say I'm mad, and frankly, I shouldn't be. At this point, I accept that I'm involved in so many things, perhaps too many things, and have so many changing interests that, unless I go in on one game or just one series, my name likely won't be associated with any of them. Chances are, I'll never be the Mario Kart guy, or the Smash Brothers guy, or the Zelda guy, or the Pokemon guy, or even the Kirby and the Amazing Mirror guy. I could create another 100 videos for Animal Crossing, and I probably still won't be the Animal Crossing guy, unless it's all I ever did. Maybe. Again, there's also the fact that it could still be due to YouTube, but it could also just be due to me. And I accept that. All these years, I've tried to continuously stand out. I want to stand out. It's why I started wearing a Yoshi hat at all, right? I just wanted to try and be in control of my identity and my legacy, and I wanted people to know of all my accomplishments beyond just recording a sloppily constructed co-op gameplay series with my high school friends. I wanted people to know that I have so much more potential. And I think within these thoughts, the key word at play here is want. I don't need things to happen, and if anything, I guess I'm glad that I managed to participate in this abundance of games and series. While I wasn't able to become a known name throughout these avenues, and while I wasn't ever able to reach the same success as my new Super Mario Bros. Videos, the fact that these games are my legacy never stopped me from doing what I wanted to do. I still did all that stuff I mentioned regardless of how people know me, right? I mean, that's partially why I launched this current channel with the whole blue Yoshi hat aesthetic, to try something different, to embrace change. I may be wearing a different shirt, and I may be blue-coated, but I'm still me. And I mentioned earlier that Bayleaf is my favorite Pokemon and that I'm going to use Mega Meganium soon. I'm not doing that just to stand out, but I'm doing it because I want to. And it will be different. And I want things to be different. And I want to keep doing more things. Some things may never change, such as how people think I only ever made those new Super Mario Bros. Videos and then nothing else. But then there are some things that may always change, such as which games I desire to play and which videos I want to create. And overall, I believe that both of those concepts have bad and good merits. And whether or not I can control what is capable of changing is always gonna, well, change. So, as time has gone on, I figured that if I can't be a name tied to games like Super Smash Bros. Or Splatoon or Pokemon, then what if I tried to work alongside people that are associated with those games? Sort of like a, if you can't beat them, join them type of mindset. So, I pivoted and tried to make a name for myself as a video editor. I figured that I'm knowledgeable on a fair deal of Nintendo franchises and I've gone in depth on a number of them, so that makes me pretty valuable. And fortunately, I've been able to work alongside numerous valuable prominent creators and clients. For a few years, I worked in the office of the completionist, and that helped expand my knowledge on a large number of games that I'd never played previously. That all helped me step out of my comfort zone and create videos for games for which I was formerly unfamiliar. Then I later began working for Arlo, who I'd say is a fairly popular creator among the Paper Mario, Pikmin, and Metroid communities, so it's a pleasure and honor to still be one of his editors. I've also helped edit Source Gaming's videos regarding why certain characters were chosen for Super Smash Bros., and those videos went on to become some of the most successful videos on their channel. Chugga Conroy brought me on to edit content for his coverage of Splatoon 2, where I was able to create biographies for each of the weapons in the game. Then he had me assist with his Pokemon White 2 series and now his Pokemon Heart Gold videos. And once more with Splatoon, I even edited a couple of videos for Prochara, one of the most well-known creators in the Splatoon community. I did a video for Wolf Glick, one of the most prominent players in the competitive Pokemon community. I edit regularly for Ant Dude, who is known widely in the greater Nintendo circle as the Kirby guy. And nowadays, I've even done different videos for IGN for Pokemon Legends EA, Animal Crossing New Horizons, and Mario Kart World. I think that's quite the impressive resume, if I may say so myself. Do people know that I edit for each of these creators? People might know me as Arlo's editor or Chugga Conroy's editor, but do people know that I edit for both? I don't know. So again, my involvement in each of these different game series has proven to be useful toward my skills and flexibility as an editor. I may not have been a big name in Splatoon or Pokemon or Super Smash Bros. Or Kirby, but I got to work with the people that are. And to me, that counts for something. And while a few people now know me as an editor, or at least as some sort of resource specialist, I still don't feel as though I've shaken off the feeling of being the new Super Mario Bros. Wii guy. Which is crazy, because that's not even a game I know too much about anymore. I barely know anything about New Super Mario Bros. Wii anymore. Yet that's the game that keeps following me. That's the game that's forever my legacy. It shouldn't matter how many people know me, though I do often wonder if people ever realize that the person who's done all these things is the same guy. The guy who edits for all these people. The guy who nicknamed his Pokemon after his high school friends and competes with a Bayleaf. The guy who uploaded 400 Animal Crossing videos. The guy who's on the Super Smash Bros. Streams. The guy who 100% Breath of the Wild, Age of Calamity, Tears of the Kingdom. The guy who made thousands of videos highlighting different games and their niche features is all the same guy that made that new Super Mario Bros. Wii co-op walkthrough. That guy has since uploaded thousands of videos and has gone on to do a bunch of really cool stuff. And whether that guy wears a green Yoshi hat or a blue Yoshi hat, that's all the same guy. And even though I don't know much about New Super Mario Bros. Wii or New Super Mario Bros. U anymore, it was those games that made me feel more comfortable doing the videos that I create now. Commentary, editing, figuring out capture cards and high quality export settings and all that. So, all in all, I may forever be remembered as the new Super Mario Bros. Wii guy and the new Super Mario Bros. U guy. And not so much the Bayleaf guy or the Mega Meganium guy or with any other game affiliation, but I'll still have my achievements and desires. Despite what may occur next, I can't change how people find me or know me or which of my older videos or newer videos will give them joy. And you know what? That's okay, because I'm still gonna be me, Yoshiller. And so, we've reached the end of the video. If you enjoyed it, please click on the like button or leave a comment. Either of those actions would really help me out. And hey, in case you didn't know, I also actively post gameplay videos on my other channel, where you can see me record the footage that I used in this exact video. I play a variety of different games, and I constantly play with friends and other content creators, so there's constantly something to watch. Otherwise, thank you all again for your support, and I hope to see you all in the future.